You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
What is up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you another episode of my news roundup show. Alright, so we got a bunch of news stories for you. We got news on Starfield. We got news on Budokai Tenkaichi 4. We got news on the current condition of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We also have a lot of controversial stuff here. Some more fuel for the fire of Atomic Heart. Apparently, Ukraine wants that game to be banned. We have people hate Mr. Beast for being nice to people. We've got tons of stories here. Of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that stuff that YouTube requires you to do. Continue getting videos from me. Follow me at twitter.com/rsmario128. Like my video tweet, share my video tweet, and I will shout you out at the end of the video. As well as check out my fake leak theater, where I talk about fake leaks for a little bit. I think YouTube might have killed that video a little bit. You can check that out as well, or the news video from last week to catch up on those stories I've already covered. But yeah, let's get on into the news. Alright, so first story up today is Starfield. Alright, much to the sadness of Sony fans all around the world, Starfield has, they dropped a new trailer, and the trailer had two important beats to it. One, we have a release date. So it's going to come out September 23rd, 2023. So that's what's up. And two, we have an announcement of a Starfield Direct coming in June. So that's probably going to be one event that is chock full of information about Starfield. Now, the bad part about this is, depending on the circumstances, this could mean that Microsoft's not really going to do much of anything in June for E3. I mean, because why would you have a whole Direct for Starfield if you're also going to have Microsoft do something around E3 time? We already know they're not going to be at E3, but it's possible that they could do an event, a conference, a digital presentation or whatever around E3 time. So this could mean that they're not going to do that. Now, of course, they could possibly do that if we could get a trailer for Starfield and then we get the in-depth information at its own event, but it's looking like Microsoft might just sit E3 out completely this year, which is very, very bad. Because I personally like E3. But yeah, man, if you're hype about Starfield, tell me about it in the comments. Oh, so here's another big one. So we got another big trailer this week, Budokai Tenkaichi 4. So, if you don't know, alright, here's the deep lore. Budokai Tenkaichi was one of the greatest non-competitive fighting games of all time. Alright, because, you know, as far as competitive fighting games, you've got your Smash Brothers, you've got Street Fighter, you got Mortal Kombat, you got Tekken, and then you got Budokai Tenkaichi. Alright, yo, there were rivalries, friendships were on the line, you know, brother versus brother. Tenkaichi was the thing. That's where men were born, okay? Alright, hands was thrown, controllers were broken in those little beam struggles, bro. Yo, like, Tenkaichi was crazy. Tenkaichi was a 3D like arena fighter in the DragomBall Z universe. And it was awesome, you know what I'm saying? It was awesome. Like those first three games. Well, I can't remember Tenkaichi 2 that much as I remember the first one, and I remember the third one. You know what I'm saying? They had awesome story modes where you had to unlock all these characters. They even had like a what if story mode. Like, oh, what if, long before Marvel decided to do it. You know what I'm saying? Budokai Tenkaichi had a Dragon Ball Z what if. Like, oh, what if this person was Super Saiyan 3, or what if, like, you know, this person didn't die or whatever. Like, Budokai Tenkaichi was awesome. Alright, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that they're bringing it back is good. Now, of course, it's not exactly a competitive fighting game. Like, you know, I I wouldn't put an esport in Tenkaichi. It's just not that type of fighting game. It's not like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. You know what I'm saying? Now, Fighter Z, that's more of an esports-centric Dragon Ball Z game. But Tenkaichi ain't it. This is more about fun than it is about the competitive nature of a fighting game, though. It's still going to be lit, though. All right? It's straight going to be lit. I might have to get this for old time's sake. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here we go to, speaking of old time's sake, Pokemon. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is in the news again, not exactly for a good reason. This time there is another bug. So, of course, I believe recently they did a patch, and that might have broken something in the game. So now there's a bug that is deleting people's save files. So watch out, okay? All right, I have stopped playing the game for a while now, just, you know, until they fix this bug. But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet launched in an incredibly rough state last November. It seems that the last patch has introduced an even bigger problem for its players. Fans on Reddit have reported that connecting to Pokemon Go or downloading the DLC has caused them to lose their entire save file. Here's the worst part. There is not one singular cause of this save corrupting bug. Some people have lost hundreds of hours of progress after syncing the game with Pokemon Go. A new feature that allows players to send postcards to one another. Others had their saves wiped by downloading the DLC. Another person lost shinies merely by buying the DLC. Imagine to pay money to lose your game. Oh, Lord. One person did all the above and managed to send multiple postcards before their save file was corrupted. There were a lucky few who didn't encounter the issue from sending postcards or downloading the DLC, but some players lost hundreds of shiny Pokemon after their save file was corrupted. So basically they're saying that some people did all of these things and nothing happened to them, and then some people did one of these things and everything happened to them. So that's kind of crazy. According to one Reddit user who experienced the save error, their copy was still playable, but when they created a new Switch profile, which they opted out of fear that their original save might be gone forever if they played it on their first profile. So the game just won't recognize the corrupted save file, and even using save recovery methods haven't worked for the OP. Some players have tried to contact Nintendo to get their Pokemon back. One support agent reportedly told a player that the publisher was looking into it before closing their ticket. Bruh. Oh, we're looking into it. Yeah, go ahead and cancel that man's ticket. That jam broke. It's broke, bro. Oh my God, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Another Redditor's customer service representative reportedly brought up the possibility of transferring Pokemon from their corrupted save file into Home, an app that allows you to send your Pokemon to the cloud once the compatibility launches. So, I mean, definitely that guy that got his to work by switch profiles, that guy could do that. I would totally do that. Send all the Pokemon to Home this way and just start a brand new game and just play again. You know, that's what I would do. But yeah, man, it's tough out there in the streets when you playing Pokemon. Tell me if you've seen or heard anything or had anything happen to your game in the comments down below. All right, now on to something more weird. So we have toilet paper switch game is unlike anything you've ever seen before. Give Me Toilet Paper makes use of an infrequently used switch feature, according to Kotaku. So, Give Me Toilet Paper is a game built around Give Me Toilet Paper is a game built around a simple universal concept. At some point in our lives, we will forget to check the toilet paper roll before we sit on the porcelain throne. That's exactly what happened to these digital businessmen trapped behind the unfeeling bathroom stall. Only you can save them. by sticking a Joy-Con into a roll of toilet paper and literally rolling it through buzzsaws and lasers. How it works is you stick one of your Switch controllers into a roll of toilet paper, not included on the eShop, and then you stuff some tissue into the roll to prevent it from sliding out. Afterwards, you use a board to roll the controller back and forth. The Switch's motion sensors will allow you to use physical movement as your primary input. The game itself consists of rolling the toilet paper through platforming hazards before finally reaching the poor dude who just wanted to take a shit. One of these hazards are toilet paper rolls with spikes sticking out of them, which had which I found incredibly funny. But wait, it gets funnier. According to the eShop description, the toilet paper is sentient and it's rolling towards the man so that he can't use it. Wait a minute, it's rolling towards the man so that he can use it to wipe his ass. What a noble act of self-sacrifice. I have so many questions. I do too, Kotaku person. I also have questions. You know what I'm saying? I am not going to think too hard about this. What really matters is that he might be able to run he might be able to run to his next meeting in time. Okay, yeah, that right there is classic Japanese right there. A crazy concept that might actually be kind of fun. I kind of want to try the toilet paper game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this sounds like it's going to be kind of fun. If you want to try it, tell me in the comments down below. Alright, so now we go from happy and weird to just plain weird. Maybe a little paranoid. So Sony is worried that Microsoft will sabotage Call of Duty for the PlayStation. Come on, Sony. I've tried to vouch for you, bro. Alright, I'm still a PlayStation fan, but now you're beginning to sound kind of weird. So Sony has laid out its concerns about Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, including a host of fears about the future of Activision's Call of Duty franchise. In new documents submitted to the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, Sony says it's worried that Microsoft will raise the price of Call of Duty and make it only available on its own Game Pass subscription service, and even strategically or incidentally degrade the quality of and performance of Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony cites a specific hypothetical situation where Microsoft could release a Call of Duty game on PlayStation that has bugs and errors on the final level. Microsoft might release a PlayStation version of Call of Duty where bugs and errors emerge only in the game's final level or after later updates. Even if such degenerations could be swiftly detected, any remedy would likely come too late, by which time the gaming community would have lost confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Indeed, as Modern Warfare 2 attests, Call of Duty is most often purchased in just the first few weeks of release. If it became known that the game's performance on PlayStation was worse than it was on Xbox, Call of Duty gamers could decide to switch to Xbox out of fear of their favorite game being a second class or less competitive venue. Okay, this is interesting. Now, Sony's not exactly wrong. This is possible. I mean, it's very possible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now, I think more than likely if Microsoft did that, it would actually hurt the brand as a whole, because people wouldn't say, oh, you know what I'm saying, it's worse on PlayStation, it's better on Microsoft, let me go buy an Xbox. People will say that Call of Duty is just degrading slowly over time, which is what they've been saying for years anyway. So more than likely, this would hurt the Call of Duty brand and people will blame Activision. You know what I'm saying? More than likely. You know what I'm saying? But it is a possibility. This is business, okay? Alright. anything is possible in business, all right, as long as it's not illegal. You know what I'm saying? If it's immoral or unethical, yeah, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where Sony is coming from here. You know what I'm saying? But I also have to tell the story of a game called Forspoken. See, Forspoken was a PlayStation exclusive as far as consoles go, and it was released on PC. Now, more than likely, Square Enix put way more effort into the PlayStation 5 version than they did the PC version, because the PC version plays like hot garbage. The game itself was already mid, and now the PC version is straight up trash. So there's a real world example of a company putting more effort into an exclusive version than they did for the version on the other platform. So it is possible. Alright, and more in Xbox news, Xbox has finally announced a brand new piece of hardware. Following the Xbox Series X fridge, the next up is a Xbox Series S toaster. That's right, the next piece of Xbox hardware will make you delicious toasted bread. Images have emerged claiming to show a licensed Xbox Series S toaster. According to the images, the Series S toaster will cost €60 and feature 3 toasting modes. The kitchen appliance sports a white shell, large circular vent in the style of the Microsoft entry-level console. According to the French site X Squad, the licensed appliance will release this year, and it's planning to sell a device with pre-orders open now. So yeah, all right, you know what I'm saying, a toaster. That's what we were looking for. And to be honest, it looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. It looks more like a radio than a toaster. But that's just what the Xbox Series S looks like. It looks like an old school radio that somebody jazzed up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I think little novelty items like this are cool. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think what, €60 is, that's not even that much money. I think it's like $65, something like that. The conversion rate is weird, especially with the economy being the way it is. But I would totally buy this. You know, I would totally buy this. Like, I wanted the little mini fridge too. You know what I'm saying? I got a spot for that sucker. You know what I'm saying? Put some sodas or something in it. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? If you would buy the Xbox toaster, tell me in the comments down below. Alright, so enough happy or weird stories. Now let's get into the controversial stuff. So, Ukraine makes an official request to ban Atomic Heart sales worldwide. The Vice Minister of Ukraine has written Sony, Microsoft, and Valve, urging the corporations to pull Atomic Heart from their storefronts. Why didn't he write ESG? Epic Game Store, EGS, Epic Game Store, I think they sell Atomic Heart too, so, you know, I guess they just said, fuck Epic Games. So yeah, so the Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine, Mikhailo Fedorov, has officially requested that Microsoft, Sony, and Valve ban selling of Atomic Heart on their respective storefronts. Documentation regarding the proposal has been published online via Fedorov's official Twitter account. Official requests to ban selling of Atomic Heart. I do believe neither of these businesses support the bloody regime, murders, and romanticizing of communism. Brand new level of Russian digital propaganda using the gaming industry, reads Vice Prime Minister's tweet. The letter begins by stating the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, okay, appreciates the measures that private companies have applied to strengthen the economic pressure on Russia by suspending the operational and commercial activities there. Basically, the sanctions, and a whole bunch of companies have left Russia, including PlayStation, and I believe Microsoft have shut down the digital stores there. So yeah, you know, Federal continues the letter by expressing serious concerns regarding the recently released Atomic Heart, which is developed by Russian studio Moonfish. As Moonfish has Russian management offices, and there is a potential risk that money raised from the purchases of the game will be transferred to Russia's budget so they can use it in their war against Ukraine. So yeah, basically that's what they're talking about. So basically he's saying that you should stop selling the game because money is probably going to go to the Russian government. And I have to say, this is a hard one because I understand what he's saying, but I mean, I'm not for banning the sale of video games. You know, I'm a freedom of expression person, you know, and I believe that, you know, people should be able to express what they want to say, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't really agree with this wholesale, you know what I'm saying? But I understand what he's talking about. Now, we've gone from Twitter wars to boycotts. That's where we at now.
And we all know who will replace us. India, that billion-strong faux vegetarian tech support call-taking behemoth of a nation. Or the Chinese. But certainly not Japan, because while they may be technologically advanced and financially powerful, they're already in decline. You want proof? Here's Baten Kaito's origins.
It's the story. Let me guess. There's probably a young hero with some sort of memory problem who's fighting a vastly overwhelming Evo fascio magical empire.
It's too soon to reveal my hand.
The bow you're wearing really takes the edge off the evil mastermind thing. Cliché burden boy of action who will save us all is named Sagi. Rhymes with Saki. Saki! Which I could use a lot of right now.
Sagi!
Saki! Baten Kaitos features voice acting aplenty of surprisingly good quality.
Show me your wings again.
All right, take a good look.
Does it count as sexual harassment if her wings were asking for it?
This had better not be another ploy to see my wings.
And apparently nothing says prequel like improved breath physics on the shopkeepers.
Sagi!
Sake!
Sagi!
Saki! 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 Baten Kaitos Origin is an RPG for the GameCube. That about says it all. A 3. Saki!
Saki! Saki!
Out of 5. Saki! Will you shut up about Sagi?
Alright, and more in controversial stuff, we have G4. So, G4 is actually in the news for not dying for once. So, of course, in the video you probably just saw, if I remember to get that, that was a review that that XPlay did, you know, Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler did for Baten Kaitos Origins. Now, I mean, you know, to me personally, the video seemed a bit edgy. I didn't really see anything racist per se in the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess maybe the racist way they were saying, like, the way they were trying to do the exaggerated voice of Japanese people when they were saying, sucker! Maybe that's what it was. Or I think, well, I guess technically Morgan Webb was talking about the Great Replacement Theory, which is something that a lot of people talk about nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I have no opinion on this. I'm not throwing my hat in that race. But yeah, so of course this video came out. Somebody dug through there and this video came out. And of course, Adam Sessler went on kind of a tirade on Twitter, as he tends to do. Because Adam Sessler nowadays is a big progressive. He's a big woke progressive person. And he basically kind of sort of hates gamers now. Like, or at least he thinks of us as like the unwashed masses that are kind of beneath him. And he kind of hates where he came from. Dude is angry. I didn't like his consumer boner simulator in 2006. A true gamer there never was. Kotaku reached out for a comment and did not receive one by the time of publication. I am not defensive, and I am also not apologizing to the MAGA weirdos with anime porn in their timeline, he tweeted to someone who had criticized his response. Also, maybe tend to your own garden. You know, if you were the white straight content creator in the 2000s, you likely with very few exceptions, engaged in casual racism, which is basically like edgy humor, and or light transphobia, because it was indeed a different time, wrote content creator Bob Mackey shortly after the clip blew up. The correct response to people finding this stuff isn't, "So the mob has finally come for me." Yes, it is. Because that's the way this works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody has probably said something. If you've been on social media for more than 10 years or whatever, you've probably already said something that's going to get you canceled. All right, more than likely, because it was a different time period, and that's just the way things works. So they finally came for Adam Sessler, you know what I'm saying? And this kind of reminds me of something else. JRPGs were just kind of like that back in the day. Like, it wasn't cool to like JRPGs like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, it was the same thing with like anime and video games at a certain point. I'm old enough to remember all these eras where being a gamer, I was like, oh, he's a weird gamer dude. And then gaming became mainstream. And then, oh, if you liked anime, or if you like Japanese games, or if you like RPGs, oh, he's a weeb. He's weird. You know what I'm saying? And now those things are kind of mainstream now. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. You know what I'm saying? I remember trying to get a job at my local game store. It was called Game Crazy. All right, it was a part of Hollywood Video, because they had where you could rent videos and movies and video games, and then they had where you could buy and sell, like GameStop. And I tried to get a job there because it was in like walking distance of my house, and I think I was in like, I might have been like a freshman in college or something. So I was looking for a part-time job, and I applied for the job, and I was in mostly a black neighborhood. So most of the people they were hiring in to try to help sell stuff were people who were into sports games and dude bro shooters and stuff like that. And at this time, I just wasn't into that. I just wasn't into that. I was into RPGs and strategy games, and I didn't get the job. You know, even though I have probably more game experience than anybody in that store, I didn't get that job because, again, I just wasn't in sports games. You know, I hadn't really started playing Call of Duty yet. You know, I hadn't found Overwatch and found my love of first-person shooters. So it is the way it is. But yeah, I remember this. It was kind of racist that you didn't like a JRPG, but I think it was just the type of game it was. You know, but yeah, man, people did not like JRPGs back in the day. And to be honest, it was so bad that is why a lot of RPGs actually are the way they are now. Because back in the day, like, you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of turn-based RPGs, but because people didn't like them, that's why now we have like these action-based, you know, Final Fantasy games and action-based games coming out of Japan, because they're trying to appeal to that Western audience that hated the turn-based stuff so much. And now turn-based is back. Oh boy. Tell me in the comments if you ever experienced that kind of hate, you know, for being an RPG fan. Alright, and on to our final story of the day. We have Mr. Beast. So, this is not really a video game story, but I mean, I kind of talk about YouTube stuff from time to time too. So, Mr. Beast, if you don't know who he is a big-time YouTuber. He is the biggest YouTuber on the platform now. I believe he's officially passed PewDiePie. He is also a almost billionaire that uses his money to help people. He's been known to give away money. He's been known to make big crazy videos like the Squid Game video. And every time he does this kind of stuff lately, he gets a lot of backlash. Like, he did one video where he paid for these operations to cure these people's blindness. It was like a simple operation, but the people didn't have the means or the resources to actually get it done themselves. So he actually paid for it, and he cured like 100 people's blindness or whatever. And people got mad at him. And I kind of understood one of them, because people were like, oh, is he comparing himself to Jesus? Even though he never did that. I can understand how a religious person would come to that parallel. But still, he's helping people though. You know what I'm saying? And now, of course, he did another video on his Mr. Beast philanthropy channel where he gave a bunch of people in Africa shoes. Gave a bunch of people in Africa shoes. And because of that, they got mad with him.
Starting with this controversy and massive growing backlash against YouTuber and entrepreneur Mr. Beast, following him putting out a video where he donated 20,000 pairs of shoes to kids in South Africa, with Jimmy at one point in the video even saying these were their first ever pair of shoes. And while many people's reaction to this was, wow, stuff like this, it restores my faith in humanity, we're seeing good being done in the world, you also had a big growing group of people questioning the philanthropy behind all this.
So we got one person from Twitter. I couldn't find it because so many people are talking about this on Twitter now that a lot of the positive stuff is kind of drowned out some of the negative ones. But I was able to find one because of Dixerto. Someone named Upward Boss said people praising things like this, like good guy Mr. Beast, ignore the reality he makes a profit from these types of videos. This is not really charity. So here's the thing. If it's on Mr. Beast's philanthropy channel, he doesn't make profit from it. All the money from the philanthropy videos go back into philanthropy. So it's like a self-maintaining philanthropy machine. So the videos that he makes a whole bunch of money, and then that money is used to make more philanthropic content. And so as long as he's doing this, he's helping people. He has made a self-sustaining machine to help people, and people are mad at this. Here's the thing, all right? I am a card-carrying capitalist, okay? All right, I love capitalism, all right? I don't really get what people like, oh, I hate capitalism, I'm a closet communist. I'm not down with all that. But I understand how when people complain about the issues of capitalism. This is capitalism working to help people, and people are still mad. You know what I'm saying? And these are the same people that are like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? You know, oh, Elon Musk could have took $2 billion and cured world hunger, but he took all that money and bought Twitter. Ugh. So then when Mr. Beast takes money as a rich person, as one of the 99 or 1% or whatever, and helps people, oh, he's only doing it for money. He's not doing it for the right reason. It doesn't matter what reason he's doing it for. He's helping people. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Like, look, George Soros could come down on his, like, Palpatine machine, like from that last Star Wars movie, and be like, yes, I would like to cure all the blind people using my corrupt woke money. Yes, I, Soros, will use the powers of wokeness to cure blindness with my money. And, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even care. Because guess what? He's helping people. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand this concept, man. I don't get it. And that's about it for this, though. I just wanted to talk about that. I need to get that off my brain. And tell me what you think in the comments down below. And by the way, subscribe, because I know a bunch of y'all ain't subscribed. I got some new subscribers. We getting there. Maybe, hopefully we can knock this down to like maybe 60% before the end of the year. If we can knock this from 80 something to 60%, that'll be beautiful. I'm not even going to ask for that much. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.